everyone, Midits here. In my video talking about to be a Pokemon Master, I mentioned how there was technically another episode that I was saving for another video. That final episode is the special episode, The Distant Blue Sky. Now, there is a kind of odd thing with this episode. In Japan, it was released right between Pokemon Ultimate Journeys and Aim to be a Pokemon Master, but in America, it was released as To Be a Pokemon Master's final episode. I felt that saving it for the last was the best idea since, first, that's how I watched it, and second, with what this episode is about, it would be kinda weird to move straight from this into To Be a Pokemon Master, and there's a third reason why, but we'll get into that later. Now, let's dive into this episode. I had no idea what this episode was about, so imagine my surprise when Ash looks completely different, with Ash's design resembling more of the pre-Sun and Moon look, and that's because this episode takes place in the continuity of the alternate universe Ash Ketchum, that being movies 20, 21, and 23. I'm guessing this takes place after I Choose You, since Ash still has his outfit from that film. Anyway, Ash is in the water, looking at water-type Pokemon, and during this, a trainer bumps into Ash, then swims away. A Gyarados then begins chasing Ash. Pikachu is playing with other wild Pikachu when suddenly, Ash and this Gyarados jump out of the water. And let me just say that this episode looks absolutely stunning. While the character designs are taken straight from the I Choose You movie, the design of the world seems to be based on the early seasons of the show, and the modern designs in the traditional setting mix incredibly well together, and the backgrounds really stand out here. Any shots of nature in this episode looks like it came straight out of a piece of artwork. Back to the plot, Ash gets off the Gyarados and back on land, and with Pikachu, they face off against the Gyarados. They put up an excellent fight against it, and Ash tries to catch the Gyarados, but it breaks out of the Pokeball and swims away. Ash then challenges that trainer he bumped into to a battle, and he wins using Pikachu. Later on in a Pokemon Center, Ash gets a call from his mom, and she mentions something really big here. Delia was going to meet Ash at a different Pokemon Center the next day with Ash's dad. Now, Ash's father has always been a huge thing when it came to speculation in the Pokemon series, especially since in the moments where he was mentioned, they didn't really give a ton of information. All we really knew was that he was a Pokemon trainer like Ash and that he really cared about his son. And also, due to this episode, we now know that he and Delia are still likely together in one really big thing, and that's that Ash knows who his father is. Team Rocket overhears Ash, so as he's planning on heading to the town to meet his parents, Team Rocket is planning on getting ahead of him to capture Pikachu. That night, Ash and Pikachu sleep in a forest, but when Ash wakes up, Pikachu's gone. Ash then sees a kid who says he saw Pikachu being taken away by people in weird outfits. This, of course, being Team Rocket. Ash confronts Team Rocket, who has Pikachu in a cage. Ash easily deals with them, stealing the cage key and freeing Pikachu in the middle of Team Rocket's motto. Then, for one last time, Team Rocket goes blasting off again. Ash and this kid named Sunny talk to each other. Ash then learns that Sunny has never touched a Pokemon. So Ash decides they wants to show Sunny various Pokemon. We then have scenes where Ash tries petting wild Pokemon, but it keeps going wrong. By this point, Ash and Pikachu are really hungry, and Sunny tells them where to find food. They head to an Oranberry garden where they see a man in a house painting. And one thing to note is that Sunny points at a specific painting and says that it's his favorite. As Ash is looking at the artwork, a woman at the front of the house notices him. Ash apologizes for their trespassing, but when he looks behind him, Sunny is missing. The man then goes out, coldly telling Ash he can pick whatever berries he wants before going back inside. The woman apologizes for the way he acts and gives Ash food to eat. When Ash leaves, Sunny returns and Ash asks him where he went. He responds by saying that he was chasing a Pokemon. Ash then eats, with Sunny declining to have any of the food, and we then see Sunny ask a favor to Ash. A Mankey stole Sunny's hat, so he wanted Ash to get it back. This is a clear reference to Ash's Primeape from the original series, who also stole his hat, and it's really neat that we get to see this, considering we never saw Primeape return in the original continuity. Not including that one black and white intro. I am still so confused by that. It's nice that we at least get to see an alternate version of it. Ash chases after Mankey as Pikachu can't use Thunderbolt without damaging the hat. Mankey then accidentally jumps on an Onix, and Ash saves it when it falls. Ash takes the hat, but seeing Mankey sad, decides to get Mankey his own hat. Sunny starts heading somewhere, so Ash follows him. This leads him back to the house of the couple, and when they see the hat, they immediately question Ash on how he got it. He explains what happens, but they don't believe him. And this is where we get the full story. Sunny was the son of the couple. It turned out he was sick, and he passed away 1 year ago, and that hat was his. A lot of confusing things during the episode start making sense now. How Sunny didn't touch any Pokemon or people, how he refused to eat, and how he moved so quickly. Ash then sees the painting Sunny mentioned before and says that Sunny told him it was his favorite. We then learn that the painting was of the sky that the three of them saw in one of the last instances they were all together. The mom then says that after his death, she realized she needed to cherish moments such as those in life because they won't always be around. And now, this isn't a complaint against Journeys, but after Journeys, I forgot that episodes of Pokemon could be this emotional and mature with their subject matter. After this, Ash leaves, and we see that Sunny's spirit is with his parents. Ash runs into Sunny again, and when he has Sunny touch Pikachu, his hand phases through. And we've already had some cool stuff this episode, but we have one more incredible callback with Ash using his aura powers that leaves Sunny able to feel Ash and Pikachu, meaning Sunny finally got the chance to touch a Pokemon. And after this, Sunny is gone. When Ash arrives at the Pokemon Center his parents should be at, he only sees Delia there. It turns out his dad had already left due to being busy, and man, that is such a shame. We were so insanely close to getting to see Ash's dad. It would have been especially great to see since, as we all know, nothing like that was being planned in To Be a Pokemon Master. Anyway, Delia gives Ash a new hat, and it's the classic hat from the original series. Ash then eats food Delia made, and Delia also gives some food to Team Rocket, who were in disguise. We then see Ash break down crying as he's eating, this being caused by a combination of not being able to see his dad again and learning about the tragic situation with Sunny. The next day, Ash tells Delia he is going back on his journey. Delia then watches as Ash and later Team Rocket both thank her and run off to continue their travels. We then see that, similarly to the main Ash Ketchum, while our time with the alternate universe Ash is over, his journey under the blue sky is still going to continue. Seriously, it is wild that in Japan, this was just casually released right in between Ultimate Journeys and Aim to Be a Pokemon Master. This is a top tier episode of the show. The callback to Ash's Primeape is great. This is one of the best looks the show has ever had, and it is incredible seeing a Pokemon story regarding such a serious topic that talks about it in such a respectful way, because it honestly feels like it's been quite a while since we've had an episode like this. Despite this not being the main Ash Ketchum, the fact that this was the final episode in America works as it feels like a perfect series finale. There's obviously the huge callback that was built up in the 20th and 23rd movies, and that in the main universe was mentioned only all the way back in the second episode with Ash's father. It is a shame we didn't see him, but it is incredible knowing that the creators of the show cared enough about such a small detail to bring it back long after the last time it was mentioned. Of course, there's then the Sunny storyline. I love how there are multiple ways to take the story. There's the obvious route of having to deal with the death of a loved one, but it can also be seen more generally as having to deal with the loss of anything. This fits so well considering how this is the end of a character who we have been following for 25 years. At that point, the journeys of Ash, Pikachu, and Team Rocket were a constant in people's lives. And now that we're at the end of it, we need to cherish the moments we had with this show. It also feels fitting too, as I mentioned in the prior video, the main focus of Pokemon has not been battling. It's always been about the relationships formed on the Pokemon journey. So it feels perfect that the series ended on such a personal episode. And with that final episode, that is the story of Pokemon. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and the previous one as well if you checked it out. It's been a fun journey watching this show for all these years. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.